Stop scrolling right now because what began as a routine court-ordered holiday visit has allegedly spiraled into a high-tension standoff that no one saw coming. Reports out of Flagstaff suggest missed custody deadlines, sudden silence, and law enforcement involvement just days before Christmas, with a child caught in the middle. Sources claim messages went unanswered, a return time came and went, and concern turned into fear in a matter of hours. This is no longer reality TV drama. This is a developing situation with serious legal and emotional stakes, and what happens next could change everything. Stay with us because every detail matters, and the truth is unfolding right now. It was meant to be a routine court-required visit, a short exchange scheduled just before the holidays, something that on paper looked calm, controlled, and predictable. But according to multiple reports, what unfolded in Flagstaff over the following hours quickly shifted into something far more serious and deeply unsettling. Sources close to the situation say the child arrived for the visit under the terms of an existing custody agreement, with a clear return time already established and acknowledged by both parties. Those hours passed, and with each minute that followed, concern quietly turned into alarm. Communication attempts were allegedly made repeatedly with no response. Messages went unanswered, calls rang without reply, and what initially seemed like a delay began to feel like deliberate silence. Family members reportedly attempted to remain calm, reminding one another that delays can happen, especially during winter travel. But by late evening, anxiety intensified when digital location sharing connected to the child's device stopped updating altogether. While there are many innocent explanations for such a change, insiders say this specific detail triggered fear because it mirrored past moments where communication was limited during conflict. Legal observers note that when a scheduled exchange fails, the next steps are usually procedural, involving lawyers and documentation. But in this case, emotions escalated rapidly due to the timing, the holidays, the weather, and the complete lack of confirmation that the child was comfortable and safe. According to individuals familiar with the agreement, the return time had passed by several hours before any explanation was offered. At that point, relatives allegedly reached out not only to the custodial parent, but to other adults at the residence, still without response, which sources describe as highly unusual. The situation grew more tense when a brief social media post reportedly appeared and vanished within moments, referencing an inability to leave and authorities being contacted. Screenshots circulated rapidly, amplifying fears across the community, though no official verification followed. Legal experts stress that deleted posts often fuel speculation, but they also acknowledge that families under stress sometimes speak impulsively online before being advised to stop. Meanwhile, local residents later described seeing unfamiliar vehicles near the property and what appeared to be law enforcement presence, though officials have not released a formal statement confirming the purpose of those sightings. Adding to the uncertainty, court insiders later suggested that an emergency legal request may have been filed, seeking temporary changes to custody, citing emotional concerns. However, those same sources alleged the request was not granted and that the original order remained in effect. If accurate, this detail is significant because it would mean the obligation to return the child had not changed at all, making continued delay legally problematic. As the night progressed, family members reportedly debated next steps, torn between waiting for clarity and fearing that waiting could make things worse. Some pushed for patience, others urged immediate action, emphasizing that silence itself can be harmful when a child is involved. Weather reports added another layer of urgency as winter conditions worsened, threatening to close roads and reduce visibility, which could be used as justification for further delay. Legal analysts caution that while safety during storms is valid, it should be communicated clearly and promptly, rather than after hours of silence. Sources also claim that internal tension within the household began to surface, with reports of disagreement among residents regarding whether the visit should continue beyond the agreed time. Though these claims remain unverified, they contributed to a growing sense that control of the situation was slipping away from all sides. Outside the home, extended family members were reportedly mobilizing, preparing to travel toward Flagstaff, not to escalate conflict, but to ensure visibility and accountability during any exchange, emphasizing that the goal was simply to bring the child home as scheduled. Yet, the longer the silence continued, the more fragile that goal became. Observers note that when family disputes intersect with public attention, narratives can spiral quickly, but at the heart of this situation lies a simple, unresolved question. Where is the child, and when will she be allowed to return home safely? As the hours stretched toward morning, that question remained unanswered, deepening concern and setting the stage for what would become a far more public and complex confrontation. As dawn approached, the atmosphere surrounding the situation shifted from quiet concern to full urgency. Sources say that by early morning, repeated attempts were made to establish direct communication through legal representatives, trusted intermediaries, and mutual contacts. Yet no confirmation came that the child would be released at the agreed time. This silence, according to family advocates, is often the most destabilizing factor because it leaves caregivers imagining worst-case scenarios without information to ground them. Legal professionals following similar cases explain that when a custody exchange fails and communication breaks down, parents are advised to document everything and request official intervention rather than acting independently. However, documentation does little to ease emotional distress in the moment, especially when holidays are days away and travel plans are already in motion. By mid-morning, local observers reported activity near the property, including parked vehicles and what appeared to be officers conducting a welfare-related visit, though authorities have not publicly detailed their actions, which is standard when minors are involved. This lack of transparency only intensified speculation online. Meanwhile, weather conditions deteriorated with snowfall increasing and temperatures dropping, creating both real logistical concerns and a perceived excuse for continued delay. Analysts caution that weather-related safety considerations must be communicated proactively, not used retroactively, which is why frustration reportedly mounted among those waiting for clarity. Family insiders claim that within the residence itself, disagreements were growing over how the situation was being handled, including whether keeping the child longer was helping or harming her emotional state. Though these accounts remain unverified, they suggest a household under strain rather than united resolve, adding complexity to the narrative. Outside the property, extended family members were reportedly nearing the area, choosing visibility over confrontation. Their stated goal, according to sources, was to be present to ensure any exchange occurred peacefully and in compliance with existing orders. Experts note that the presence of additional adults can sometimes encourage resolution by reducing isolation and reminding all parties that decisions are being observed. Yet it can also raise tension if emotions are already high. Throughout the day, online chatter escalated, with unconfirmed claims circulating rapidly, underscoring the importance of caution when consuming developing stories. Many commentators emphasized focusing on the child rather than assigning blame, a sentiment echoed by child welfare advocates, who stress that prolonged uncertainty can be distressing even when no physical harm is present. They explain that children are highly sensitive to adult conflict, changes in routine, and sudden loss of communication tools, all of which can leave lasting impressions. As afternoon turned to evening, reports suggested law enforcement remained involved, managing the scene and speaking with multiple individuals, though again without confirming outcomes. Images shared online appeared to show official vehicles near the entrance, but no clear sign of the child, leading to renewed anxiety. Was she already safe in a protected environment, or still waiting for resolution? Authorities typically avoid releasing details until situations fully stabilize, which means families and observers must endure the uncertainty. The longer this unfolded, the more it became clear that this was no longer a private scheduling dispute, but a complex emotional, legal, and public situation unfolding in real time. Those close to the family expressed hope that cooler heads would prevail, emphasizing that resolution does not require escalation, but cooperation, clarity, and adherence to the law. As night fell again, snowfall continued, blanketing the area and symbolically freezing the situation in place. Yet behind the scenes, efforts reportedly continued through legal channels, mediation attempts, and coordination with authorities, all focused on one outcome: ensuring the child could return to a stable, familiar environment, safely and without further distress. While definitive confirmation remained elusive at that moment, one truth stood firm: the longer uncertainty persists, the greater the emotional toll, and everyone involved faced a critical choice: to prolong conflict or to resolve it with compassion, accountability, and respect for the child at the center of it all. As night settled over Flagstaff, the situation entered its most uncertain phase. Sources say that law enforcement remains present in the area, managing the scene and attempting to establish clarity while prioritizing the well-being of the child involved. Those familiar with similar cases explain that once officers are on site, their primary focus is not assigning blame, but ensuring safety, confirming identities, and understanding whether any court orders are being violated. During this period, communication is often limited intentionally to prevent misinformation and escalation, which can be deeply frustrating for families waiting for answers. Insiders claim that conversations were taking place behind closed doors, involving legal representatives and authorities working through the existing custody agreements step by step. While emotions ran high, those involved were reportedly urged to slow down, cooperate, and allow the process to unfold according to protocol. Child welfare specialists emphasize that moments like this are delicate because children can sense tension, even when adults attempt to shield them, and prolonged uncertainty can leave lasting emotional impressions, even if the situation resolves without further incident. Meanwhile, extended family members who had traveled toward the area were reportedly advised to remain at a distance to avoid complicating the scene, demonstrating a shift from urgency to caution as the priority became de-escalation. Throughout the night, social media activity surged with speculation, narratives, and strong opinions, underscoring how quickly public interest can intensify pressure on private situations. Legal experts remind the public that many details in active family cases are sealed to protect minors, and that silence from authorities does not imply wrongdoing, but rather responsibility. As hours passed, reports suggested that arrangements were being discussed to ensure the child could transition safely back to her primary residence without further disruption. Whether that involved supervised exchange, delayed travel due to weather, or temporary accommodation under official oversight was not immediately clear. What remained consistent was the stated goal shared by advocates on all sides to minimize trauma and restore routine by early morning. Snowfall continued, but road crews worked to keep major routes passable, removing one of the major obstacles cited earlier in the delay. Observers noted that this development increased pressure for resolution as logistical barriers diminished. Behind the scenes, documentation was reportedly reviewed, including timestamps, messages, and prior compliance history, all factors that typically inform next steps in custody-related matters. Family law professionals explained that outcomes in such situations rarely hinge on a single moment, but on patterns, behavior, and willingness to cooperate once concerns are raised. As dawn approached again, there were signs of movement. Vehicles repositioned, officers conversed, and tension appeared to ease slightly, though no official confirmation was released about the child's status. Those close to the family expressed cautious optimism, emphasizing that even incremental progress mattered after such a long period of uncertainty. Regardless of how this situation concludes, it has already highlighted the importance of clear communication, respect for agreements, and prioritizing children over conflict, especially during emotionally charged times like the holidays. For viewers following this story, the takeaway is not spectacle, but awareness, understanding how quickly routine arrangements can unravel and why systems exist to protect the most vulnerable when they do. Resolution often happens quietly, without dramatic announcements, but with careful steps taken to restore stability and trust. And while public attention may move on, the impact of these moments lingers, reminding everyone involved that the choices made under stress can shape relationships and memories for years to come. As this situation continues to unfold, one thing remains clear. When communication breaks down and emotions take over, the real cost is paid by the child at the center of it all. Holidays should be about safety, stability, and peace, not uncertainty and fear. The hope now is that this ends with cooperation, accountability, and a swift return to normalcy. We will continue following confirmed updates and sharing responsibly, because this story is bigger than headlines. It is about protecting a child and making sure the right outcome comes before anything else.